What's up, guys? Welcome to Nintendo Power Block, episode 138. I'm one of your hosts, Corey Derrigan. Alongside me, as always, is Eddie Fresh.
Ooh, we got a good 2019 coming.
Woo!
Hi, everybody.
That's Eddie V, Edward Varnell. Over here is the wise Wisconsinite, Jesse Douglas.
How's it going, guys?
Trying to stay alive and awake.
Yeah. I'm wearing the same clothes I wore during the stream last night.
That's a shame.
It's alright.
I just been so busy today that I went to bed right after, or a little bit after the stream, and then my kids woke me up 4 hours later, and then I had all this stuff to do, and I just haven't. I'll probably finally change into some different clothes right before bed for tomorrow.
It's alright. So, yeah, I mean, last night was fun. For those who don't know, we're recording a tad early this week, just because, the weekend's coming up and the holidays and stuff, and we're trying to get stuff out of the way.
Yeah.
Last night, we're recording this on Friday, so if anything happens over the weekend, like a Metroid Prime Trilogy announcement that we didn't get last night.
We'll discuss that.
I know. So, we're going to do the show a little bit different. Like I said last week, we are doing a roadmap episode, and then we're going to try to do some Game of the Year stuff in the coming weeks. And then we'll probably take a week off because of the holidays. Everybody's busy and everything, and then come back with a strong episode in 2019. But for now, we are going to... The way the show this week's going to be structured... I'm all thrown off because I restructured the show, and now my brain hurts. We're going to answer the questions and give away Let's Go, Pokemon Let's Go. And we're going to choose our winner first. And then we're going to talk a little bit about the Game Awards, which happened Thursday. And we live streamed. If you want to check out our live stream and watch along, you can check out the 4-hour video on youtube.com/NGRradio and NGRradio.com and twitch.tv/NGRradio as an archive video. It was a good time. I think it was the first time we all did something together.
Yes.
Except for Matt, who is doing our community Game of the Year stuff. So those are going to be some fun episodes. It's going to be... It's going to be a little bit like Giant Bomb, where, how they put, 4-hour episodes up every year for Game of the Year stuff. So far the first community episode is, I think it's about 2 hours long. So.
Oh, wow.
And then Matt's doing another one, and then we're doing our category Game of the Year stuff this weekend. And then next week, we're trying to double up on shows the next couple weeks so we don't miss a week. So.
Oh, wow.
It's a lot of work going on here, but it's all right. Everybody will have a couple weeks off, enjoy the holidays. So, but basically, what we're doing tonight, we're going to answer the questions and give away Pokemon Let's Go. Going to announce our new giveaway, and then we are going to go into the Game Awards, and then the last half of the show probably we're going to do a roadmap of 2019 episode for Nintendo and what we kind of expect from them moving forward, which includes a lot of cool games that were announced last night, but we'll get to that. So
yes.
We're going to kick off the show with these questions and get this out of the way real quick here. Let me pull them up here. I'm real not organized tonight. Apologize to everybody. Okay, so our first question comes from our good friend Greg Schnabel. He writes in and asks, all of you are now Pokemon trainers and have to fight each other to be the very best. Who is your go-to Pokemon, and how would you fight each other? Write down your Pokemon and then reveal them to each other so one host doesn't change his mind after hearing the others. I mean, that's... we're not going to write them down and pass them around, but yeah. I mean, my go-to is going to be Charizard. Fire type, flying type. I know I'm going to take out Ed because he's going to choose Bulbasaur or Venusaur or whatever. Some kind of plant Pokemon.
Yeah.
And, but yeah, man. Charizard, man. He's the best. He can fly. He's a jerk. He can breathe fire. He's a dragon. He's a cool-looking dragon. Got my Charizard amiibo up here. See? Look at this guy. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. You can't tell me that he's not cool-looking.
But fire's just...
I got this at the Nintendo World Store, by the way. That was awesome.
Yeah.
That was my souvenir from that store. Because, despite popular belief, it is a terrible store, but is a cool experience. So, just throwing that out there. If you're going there to buy something, you're going to be disappointed. But if you're going there for an experience, you'll be
very happy.
You'll be pleasantly surprised. We're going to put him right back up there.
I'm trying to think of what I would even pick, cuz you can go. I want to.
So it is Bulbasaur and the grass type from Go. Like anytime I play Pokemon that I start, anything related to grass type I get. Because that is my personal starter. I love the fact that when I get my starter like really up and stuff, you know, I do the leech seed, or I'm able to drain a lot of power from them. And plus, when I get to all the rock Pokemon type, I already would have enough grass to like destroy them and with water. So for me, it's always going to be grass type. Regardless of what game it is, I'm always going to go with grass types. But yeah, Bulbasaur would be my first one.
I do want to say that in Pokemon Silver, I did start with Chikorita, the grass type, instead of Cyndaquil, because I thought Cyndaquil looked stupid. I'm like, what a disappointing Pokemon, fire Pokemon after Charmander. Just terrible. I do have to throw it out though before you can. Sorry, Ed, I didn't mean to cut you off. Playing Pokemon Let's Go. I have an Oddish in my party, and that Absorb, where Oddish absorbs the life of the other Pokemon and takes it from them. Yeah. It's a good move. Mix that with Poison Dart.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a good one, man. That's a deadly combo.
If I get a Pokemon that could do poison and drain life, that's like the best combo. The like 2 hits, because the life will continually gain from them, and then the poison is stuck with them until they heal themselves. So yeah. So Jesse, I will say though before I get to you, Jesse, Pokemon Sun and Moon, I did pick Litten as my starter, because I don't think they had a fire. I don't think they had a grass type unless it was the owl.
I don't know.
But I actually went with Litten for this one. Isn't
the Pokemon that's in Smash? Isn't that the evolved form of Litten?
Yeah, it is.
I forget what that Pokemon's name is, but man. Jesse, what's your Pokemon of choice?
Usually, like, I know, like, well, you've already picked mine that I either like Charmander, but it's for me like usually I've always liked Charmander or Squirtle. So
Squirtle's a solid choice.
Squirtle, like Squirtle just because, like, for me, I'm not a big enough fan of Pokemon that I know a lot about it.
Mhm.
Like, for me, it's just like the characters. Like, I just go by it mostly by what characters I like. Because, like, I've watched the original animated show. Like, I didn't really watch it religiously or anything, but it like if it
did.
was on and I caught it, I would try to watch it. But yeah, like for me, honestly, like once I get Pokemon Go, this will pretty much be, I think, the first like regular Pokemon game that I'll probably play like through, because I've played some of the other games, but I never really got any of the games for Game Boy or any of that stuff. Like I think the only game that the game that I played the most of was like the Pokemon Snap or whatever. But
I will say that I do like Raichu.
yeah, Raichu has always been cool. Like, I like him over
Pikachu.
But
I love his design of that tail.
Yeah.
Just,
Yeah. yeah, like, and then there's what's his name? The one that with the spoons. I've always liked him too.
yeah.
Is it
Psyduck is not him.
No,
but I
not
know-
Are you talking about Abra and
Yeah.
Kadabra and
Yeah.
Alakazam?
Yeah, Alakazam or whatever is the
He
one
used to
that I like.
always
It's
Kazam.
his main
Kazam,
form.
the best
He
Shaq,
always-
the best acting Shaq's ever done was in Kazam.
He always ran away from me. I'm like, get back here.
Ed's not even
Yeah.
acknowledging the Shaq Kazam reference.
Yeah, I was a little bummed to not see
Okay.
Shaq Fu, Legend Reborn, in the Game of the Year
I know.
conversation.
It got robbed. Should have been in
We
best
don't-
best indie game too.
No.
Got
Let's
robbed.
move on.
Robbed, I say. Best
Best
narrative.
soundtrack.
Best
Everything.
narrative.
Who owns here besides me? Because I don't own it. Actually beat Shaq Fu too.
I only played it for like 10 minutes.
I've played it a couple of times. It's not as bad as I expected it to be, but
Best
It's
narrative,
not
best
great either.
character design, best voice acting. Should have cleaned up, man. That's why I didn't.
yeah.
Win. That's why I didn't
Should've
win any.
cleaned-
It was. They just decided they were like, you know what, we're just gonna pull Shaq Fu from the Game Awards because it's just gonna clean house and it's not gonna be fun for anyone else. So
yeah, they didn't want a Bodie McBoat face on their hands. The internet ruins the Game Awards.
can I just say the hand drawn art of Shaq in that game does not even look like Shaq.
Yeah,
Oh man.
yeah, that game.
It looks like he looks like a light skinned Steve Harvey. Is what he looks like.
Ooh.
Which by the way, have you seen Steve Harvey lately? Did you know
Uh-uh.
he grew a beard?
No.
Yeah. I'm
He
like,
had that
no, you got to have the
Had that
stash.
mustache.
Yeah, that's like his iconic look, and now he has a beard. I'm like, what's happening to the world?
It's his radio show or whatever.
I'll take a look. Because,
Oh man.
It's
Anyways,
because he's not on television anymore. Maybe he can just grow it out.
maybe. Who knows?
But-
Man.
But
Anyways.
yeah, for me though, I think Squirtle. To get back to our question, I think Squirtle is probably going to be mine. Like I said, I usually would pick Charmander or something as my first, but
Oh, man, Charmander's the
I
best.
just love that fire tail.
Yeah. Yeah. And he's pretty adorable too as a starter. So
Yeah,
just saying.
yeah.
Squirtle's good too though. I like Squirtle
Yeah.
too. Especially the
Yeah,
Squirtle
I
Scob.
think I think the thing is yeah, like when they're like in their original forms, like they still look cool in their original forms. Like some of the Pokemon look better like as they evolve, but I feel like I pick them because like I like them in their original form, and they look fine as they evolve, but just like I like how they look in that original form though as well.
Oh, all right, we're gonna move on to our next question here from Brandon Hines. He writes in, "Hey, this is blah blah blah." Okay, I'm not reading your username. I was wondering what got you guys to start playing video games. Jesse, we're gonna start with you since we ended with you on the last question.
Okay. So, for me, like it kind of like I always enjoyed playing arcade games and stuff like when I was younger, and just because like by us, like we had like I live in a town that's like a big small town, like it's not super small like where I know like everyone that lives here. But it's also not like Milwaukee or Chicago, it's not like that big. But we've just always had some really neat little places around here that had like either arcades or like we had like a local guy that had a game rental place, and it was like amazing. Like he had this big like it was two levels. Like you had a downstairs where you had a whole big massive arcade in the basement, and then on the upstairs he had all the different systems and games and stuff that you could rent. And so like I don't know, I've just always kind of in this area like been lucky, and I've had a lot of exposure to games. But for me, like what really got me into it, like as far as like console gaming and gaming at home, is when I was younger, my grandpa had gotten a box with a couple of Ataris in it, and I believe a Master System was in it. Or well, the Master System I got later, but at first it was an Atari and the original Pong set up, with the little base that held the two paddles with the dial on it, and so I had played that, and he had given me one of the Ataris that I could take home, and then we had one of them and a ColecoVision at my grandparents' house, and so like I basically lived at my grandparents' house when I was little, like anytime we had time off. So when I was there, like I would be playing games a lot. And so basically, like ultimately it's my grandparents that got me into games, like for the most part. 'Cause like my grandma at one point bought the original Game Boy and had that there with a couple of games for us kids to play when we came to visit. So like, going to my grandparents' house was basically like going to like my own personal arcade where they just had a whole bunch of games that we could play whenever we were visiting and stuff. So that's basically what got me into gaming is playing those Atari and stuff like in the ColecoVision. Like I loved Popeye for ColecoVision, that original one that you could eventually get on the NES too, but I originally played it on ColecoVision, and in the arcade actually. I was at a Ronald McDonald Inn because my sister had to go to the hospital to get something to do with her tonsils. I think she had to get like a surgery done because it was like blocking her windpipe, so she was having a hard time breathing. And they at the Ronald McDonald Inn they had Popeye arcade there, so I was like playing that, and it was like one of those arcades where they had all the systems rigged where all you had to do is just press start. You didn't actually have to put money in it. So yeah, like I've just always been exposed to video games like since I was really little. So like ultimately my grandparents and stuff are basically who got me into games.
Nice.
And then eventually PC games too. My grandparents got me into those as well.
Nice. Ed, what about you? What got you into games?
So, I've talked about this before on Power Block.
Nope. Never.
But my mom and dad, they had a Atari 2600, so I would play that. But always, every time I went to the mall, I would play, go to the arcades. And when I was with my granddad, anytime we went to the laundromat, I would always ask him for 2 quarters so I could play Ninja Gaiden. And I think everybody had an NES before me, but I got it the following year because my mom, she wanted to play Mario Brothers. So it's kind of like my mom and dad, they kind of took notice of me. Definitely, always wanted to go to the arcades, always asking, like when EGM came out, always asking if I could buy it, if they could buy it for me, like read this book, because it was all about video games. So kind of like, my parents seeing that I was addicted to games in a certain sense. And from there you get what you get now in a way, but that's where my origins kind of started at. And plus I have a brother, and he had the Sega stuff. So when I went Nintendo, he went Sega. So I did the Master System, I did the Genesis and Dreamcast, and he's never been out of any console. I mean, he's grown now. He doesn't really buy video game systems for himself or anything or play them. But like the Dreamcast was his last system that he ever brought. But I dipped into TurboGrafx. That was my first time owning outside Nintendo. And then I ended up buying the Dreamcast. That was like my first Sega system ever. My first and only Sega system ever. And then what I have now. But yeah, back in the day, I would definitely try to get to the arcade, definitely be playing Atari 2600, playing Nintendo and the Master System. I was a master at a lot of old retro games. Somehow I would do the cheat on Double Dragon, but I actually beat that, getting all the hearts without doing the trick. But I would play Double Dragon more on the Sega Master System than Nintendo, because it was like the arcade version. So.
Oh man, I love when Ed's just like, I mastered the old games.
I did. I used to play a lot of them. Rygar, Bionic Commando. Those was in the days where you didn't have that. You wish you still had the instruction booklet, but you didn't really need it because you felt like you knew what you was doing.
Only 80s kids will remember.
Yeah, and now people miss like manuals and stuff like that.
Man. All right, I guess it's my turn now. Well, what got me started playing video games is my dad brought home an Atari 2600, and like this is the only time I've ever seen my dad play video games, right, is the Atari. And he brought it home, and we would sit on the bedroom floor and play Kaboom. And I didn't really know what I was doing. Like Kaboom, for people who don't know, Kaboom is just this really simple game where there's like a burglar at the top of this building, and he's sliding across the top of the building, dropping bombs off the building, and you have this little basket that the joystick controls, and you have to catch these bombs and try not to let them hit the ground. And that was like the first video game I remember playing was Kaboom, and it was, I mean, it's not a great game, but it was. I was 3 or 4 when he brought it home, and I was like mesmerized with it. And So, that was kind of what got me playing video games. But I think the thing that got me really into video games was my cousin Keith. He's like 10 years older than me, and we would go over to my grandma's house, and I would sit on the floor with him and play Double Dragon and Super Mario Brothers, and that's. He ended up giving me his NES, which is how I like really started playing games. And he gave me Mario 2 and 3 and Ninja Turtles and Ninja Gaiden and Donkey Kong Jr. and one of the 75 bad Simpsons games for the NES. But yeah, like we were just playing Nintendo, and then my grandma, I've told this story 100 times, where she got me a Game Boy for my birthday one year, and I got Tetris and boxing, and it was over from there, So, but yeah, those are kind of like the things. It kind of all happened like relatively within the same time span, and I don't really remember what came first, if it was the Game Boy or the NES, but I do remember playing Atari on my parents' floor, and it was a good time. Kaboom, man. Kaboom.
I remember the actual first game I think I can remember is playing Pac-Man on the Atari 2600. And the actual first Mario game was Mario Versus before I even played Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah.
I think the first game that I played that like I really, really got hooked on and addicted to was like Pitfall. Like Pitfall was like, I just like to this day I like wish that I'm tempted to like find that original game like in an emulator, and so I can play it, because I don't, they've like since like remade it and did like a part 2 or something, but it like, I think it was like on Super Nintendo or something. It just was something completely different. I just like that original, Atari version of it, like that. And then there's the one game that I liked a lot, where you're the like an airplane and I forget what it's called.
We have a visitor.
Yeah. my Max is trying to figure it out, but no, I
is this guy?
It was at Afterburn or something like that, or I
for
forget.
Sega?
It was an Atari game, like I forget what it was called, but like it was basically like where you're flying, and there's like sometimes like the path would split and you go different ways and things like that. But
was it like real, like it would go like really fast and different colors would change? I think I know what you're talking about, but I can't think of it.
Yeah. That sounds like I can't remember what it is, because I
had that game and I cannot think of it, because the television made it.
Yeah, I don't know. I just love a lot of those original Atari games. That's why, like, if the price wasn't, and like if sorry, if the price wasn't so bad and like it wasn't so like weird with that new Atari thing that they were making, I kind of was like interested in having that new Atari system thing that they were talking about making.
Oh,
but I don't know. It just seems like that was kind of all falling apart.
I'm shocked you didn't buy the Atari collection 1 and 2 for 360.
Yeah, I have one of the Atari collections, I believe. I think there was one for PS2 though too, wasn't there? I could have swore there was, or no, it was DS. Wasn't there one for DS?
Yeah, there was.
I think it was one that I think I have one for DS. But I wouldn't mind getting those collections again. But yeah.
I think it's coming. I think the first pack is coming to Switch at some point. The Atari ones.
I enjoyed the Atari, but I'm good. After I played the NES, I was just like, I'm not about to play Pitfall ever again. I'm good.
Well, you know. Anyways, so those are the only two questions that have subscribed to the YouTube channel. So that's it. Contest is over. So we're gonna pick our winner from the last couple episodes here. What's your guys' favorite question from the last couple episodes for this giveaway?
I'm going to go with Kathleen from last week, where she talked about Samantha. I'm sorry, Samantha Cross, where she talked about making the ultimate Nintendo console with the Wii U ports and HD upgrades and classic stuff online. I think we had a big discussion about that. And just seeing how all of that can happen on the Switch. But me and you, Corey, I think we both agreed that we won't see it now with the Switch, but maybe their next console. We just had a bigger discussion about that.
Yeah, because we were talking about like how, they're still trying to figure out their online thing and what they're trying to do with their new classic setup. I keep wanting to call it Virtual Console, but they're not calling it that anymore. So like, they're still trying to figure out their online infrastructure. They're trying to figure out their kind of classic game situation, which is why I don't think we're going to see that this gen. But you give Nintendo 5 or 6 years, they come out with an iteration of the Switch or whatever their next console is. Like, I think that's when you're really going to see it. Kind of like, with the DSi and the DS, you could start downloading DSiWare games on the later iterations of the DS. I could totally see that happening at some point too with the Switch. Like, those rumors of the upgraded Switch, I know it's really just a software capability thing, but I think, once they flesh out this online thing, will Super Nintendo N64 end up coming? Like, I still think it's on a future console, to be honest with you. But don't get me wrong, I love the Switch. But
yeah, I kind of like, for me, it was kind of between Samantha and Casey. Those two, like, I had liked. But yeah, I think I feel like Samantha's we had quite a long conversation out of that one.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I really like Samantha's too.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations, Samantha. You have won your copy of Let's Go Pokemon.
Yeah. So I know you are a frequent listener. So when this goes up, just let me know which version you want, and we will get that copy out to you ASAP. So congratulations, Samantha. You are our winner of the Pokemon contest, and we're going to announce the next game. Ed, I actually have 2 cards in my hand, and, I wanted it to be one thing, but then I thought it could be another thing. So I have them both written down on cards in my hand, crumpled up. And so I'm going to have you pick my left or my right hand.
I am going to go with your right hand.
My right hand. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Should do this.
Are you ready for this, Ed?
Mm-hmm.
Are you ready? January's giveaway is Travis Strikes Again. No More Heroes.
Nice.
Yes.
So, get your questions in, and we will be giving that away as well. So,
what was in the other hand?
Smash.
Oh, okay.
Which we still might. We'll do that at some point, but we're going to try to figure out this roadmap. We'll have a better idea after the next Nintendo Direct and how, the spring is going to go and whatever. Which, actually, I'm not going to lie, I've been writing down all these games. 2019 is pretty packed already, and we have no idea the new games they're announcing. So
we haven't even got to the Nintendo Direct rumor yet.
Yeah, I know. Let me tell you about that. So anyway, so congratulations, Samantha. Remember, our next giveaway is going to be the last week of January. So, just because we have a lot of Game of the Year stuff to get through, I don't want to waste an episode. I don't want to waste questions on an episode where we're not going to have a good amount of time to answer them. So, we're going to start fresh in January. Get us your questions, and email the show, nintendopowblock@gmail.com, and subscribe to the YouTube page. Those are the rules.
Also, make your question Nintendo related.
Yeah. I really appreciate everybody who subscribed and sent me screenshots of them subscribing to the YouTube page, and I really appreciate people's questions. But there are people who would do one and not the other, and it went both ways. So please email the show at nintendopowblock@gmail.com and subscribe to the YouTube page. So those are the rules. Travis Strikes Again, No More Heroes is our next giveaway.
Yes.
So on to the next topic of the show. Before we get into the topic of the show, I just want to know what you guys thought of the Game Awards last night. Likes, dislikes, cool announcements. I think the elephant in the room is definitely the Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 trailer.
Yeah, that was the highlight. Is it Anapuncture or I think they had like 3 game reveals, and I think all of us can pretty agree that what they brought to the table was really interesting. Like the indie presentation here was strong.
Yeah.
And I truly enjoyed that, and it feels like regardless of what system is coming out, people are looking forward to buy them. So I think, and I really hope that no matter what system people are planning to get these games, besides like the Marvel Alliance, I really hope people continue to support indie and really support them big in 2019. I will start out saying my dislike is for the nominations itself. I do not like the fact that these nominations was not diverse across the whole board. Like,
yeah, it felt like the same, like, unless it was like esports or, content creator or whatever, like, it felt pretty packed full of, like, it was either God of War, Red Dead, Spider-Man, those types of games really kind of,
yeah.
And there was some love, like Dead Cells won Best Action Adventure Game or Action Game, and there's a lot of cool indie stuff that won in the categories that they were in, but a lot of the awards went to God of War and Red Dead, which you're gonna have those years where 2 games just stick out above the rest. And don't get me wrong, I really thought God of War deserved a lot of the stuff that it won.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, it was just like these two monster games are literally winning everything.
Like, my frustration with this is that reason why I say that it feels unfair. I feel like every category should come from every company, or not every company, but every system. There should be one for Xbox, one from Nintendo, one from Sony, one from third party, and one from indie, and even one from PC. Like 6 games. And maybe if you want to throw handheld in, one from handheld / mobile. So you got 7 games to choose from. That way, that if you do get a game in one category, it should be excluded from another category, and you should be able to find different stuff in that genre or on that system to put in it. Because it just felt like pretty much everything from early winter, spring and summer just got ignored. And it was just like, wait a minute. There were so many good games that came out earlier this year that, God of War stood out for maybe a month and a half. But I'm like, look at all the discussion people was talking about Nintendo. Look how Sea of Thieves and State of Decay 2 did. Regardless if they had their problems and stuff, they were kind of outstanding games, and people really picked them up and played them and talked about them. Detroit Become Human, it had its problems with the controversy, but it sold well, and it felt like it got ignored. It was just like, oh, here goes Tetris Effect, that game that's only been out of the week. We'll just throw that for a nomination. Oh, here's Red Dead 2. Like, Call of Duty didn't really get no love, and and it should have, because it's a phenomenal game. It surprised me on how good it is and stuff. And it was I feel like it was in enough state that it came out early that could be a fall game that needs to fit in it, because there wasn't a lot of multiplayer shooters throughout the year. That wasn't getting updates or something. You know, Call of Duty Black Ops was kind of like maybe the only first game that was really brand new in a sense for a multiplayer shooter. But I just felt like they look for the AAA stuff from some first party and third party, and just ignore all the great indies that came out. Yeah. And I feel like because they put this in the hands of all the journalists around just around the country and stuff, that they created the list, and we as the voters, the gamers and stuff, we were stuck with a crummy list throughout the whole thing. And I just feel like if they're going to go to the Game Awards, they need to start looking at stuff for the spring and be like, okay, what's all the spring games? What's all the summer games? What's all the fall games? Let's look at winter 2018 and how 2019 connects that. You know, they need to look at all of that before they even do the nominations and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and I think you know, like the thing is yeah, it's like I kind of listened to the one of the latest episodes of the Game Informer podcast, and they're talking about like how they're gonna be doing their Game of the Year and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And I really like what they're doing. Like, honestly, I think they're gonna be the better publication,
the top
you know,
50.
Yeah, and like how they're not taking out games, they're not excluding games that are technically keep on getting renewed and redone, and you know, like the ongoing games like Siege and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They're still keeping games like that are you know, constantly getting updated and practically, you know, practically new games to a certain extent. Just because like they're kind of doing some similar to what we're gonna be doing for ours. I feel like where it's not gonna just be like based off of, you know, like what sales and all that stuff. It's gonna be based off of more of like what they felt like
that personal experience.
They played the most, and what they got the most joy out of, and you know, and obviously they're still going to be looking at like God of War as probably being like the Game of the Year, but they're still going to have more options for people, and you know, kind of like I feel like how we're going to do. We're going to have like give people things that they can hopefully maybe check out if they didn't. Like, you know, like I was saying, like for me personally, like I haven't really played Celeste, but like I feel like there was so many other good like platformer games that came out and things like that. Like I just like I'm still kind of bummed that like I feel like Lightfall didn't really get much attention at all, and I feel like it was a really good game. Like it was difficult, and I feel like a lot of people got turned off because it was difficult. But just because it's difficult, that shouldn't take away from, you know, how good it was and what it did. And like, I don't know, I just like, you know, there's a lot of things that I felt like Gulf Story and things like that didn't get any attention.
And it feels like for the last 2 years, indies have been keeping gaming strong over first party and AAA. No disrespect to Nintendo, Microsoft, or Sony, or any third parties, but ever since Switch came out, PS4, Xbox One, even for the last generation, indies have been making such a big impact in gaming and changing our experiences and what we think, how we look at art, tell stories, and stuff like that. We as gamers, as a community, have been talking more about indies and been looking forward more to those games coming out, regardless if they sell well or not, or what rated review they got. They have been making us more interested over something that everybody or the other big party, because we know about big name games are going to do fine and well, and if it's a travesty, we'll crack jokes on it or just not ignore it all completely. But I'm like, if we play an indie game that may be broken or not, it's something new to us, and we know that we can say something about it. And if they are able to come back and make a sequel and improve on the stuff like there and make it more enjoyable, we will give them credit for it. And so I think indies probably for the last 2 years have been making us strong. Because at the Game Awards, I don't feel like you need an ongoing game nomination. You don't need that. For what?
Yeah.
It don't change the overall experience.
Yeah.
It
Well,
just,
like for me, yeah, like I think I lean towards like independent, indie games, like as being more important. Like, cause I like the way I look at like games, like indie games to me are like TV shows, whereas your AAA big title games are like movies. Meaning like their stories are something you want to experience, you finish it, and then you're done with it for a couple of years. Whereas the indie games, I feel like I tend to want to spend more time in the worlds and under getting to know the stories that they're telling, and like it's just indie games just seem to have a more like in-depth like story that you really want to explore and learn more about, whereas like like the AAA games, the story is in your face, and there's you don't really need to do much to understand what the story is about. And so you finish it, you're done with it, and then you move on to something else.
I think
Like,
a lot of us, I think, and I would give it back to you, Jesse. I think a lot of us, when it comes to indies, we've been wanting more of their soundtracks, and we've been wanting more of. We've been looking more forward to what they're going to bring out.
mhm. Yeah, I think it's like like with a lot of things, when you get into the big productions where everything is just like such a massive production, you kind of lose sight of like what you kind of were trying to do with telling a story in the first place. And it just like it happens a lot with movies where you get these overproduced movies that are like they're made just for winning awards, but when it comes down to it, they just don't do the same for everyone. Like story wise, it's just like, oh, they made that because they wanted to win an award. They didn't really do it for the heart and for the true like telling of the story. And like that's how I feel about like games sometimes, is where just certain games just like they mailed it in to try to win an award, but they lost sight of like trying to actually just tell the story and like try to be a story that people remember. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna talk about our favorite kind of announcements real quick before we get into the roadmap type stuff. We'll probably talk more about the Game Awards next week or whatever, but for now, I think the biggest surprise was, I think we knew an Ultimate Alliance game was kind of going to be in the works, but the fact that Team Ninja is developing it and Nintendo is publishing it, and it's a Nintendo Switch exclusive, was the biggest shock to everyone.
And I was thinking about this. Didn't Nintendo go to Marvel to get this?
Marvel's making deals, man, and it's making me wonder because, like, does this mean? Maybe we'll talk about this on Arsenal X this week, but will Xbox get an exclusive Marvel game now? Because Sony has Spider-Man and Nintendo has Ultimate Alliance, which really, really happy to see the X-Men are in this game, at least some of them.
I would say we won't cover it for AX this week. We'll cover it for next episode for AX because that is an interesting thing. Because I don't think it will happen, but like I said, we'll get into that next week. That's why when everybody's gonna see my reaction and hear everybody tell me Team Ninja, I'm like, you don't understand this. When has Team Ninja, Koei Tecmo have done a game like this? They've never done anything like this.
No, so but what makes me excited before you move on with that thought, Ed, is like the combat's going to be really cool in this game if it feels anything like Ninja Gaiden or even Neo to an extent, right? Like a really cool combo-based, team-based action RPG. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, it's just like, to me, this is kind of a trial run. It just surprised me that Koei Team Ninja was doing it. You know, like Team Ninja doing an action RPG like this, multiplayer, local, or online co-op. Is like, when it said exclusive of Nintendo, I was just like, okay, that's more guaranteed sales for the system. Once again, Pokemon Let's Go did it. Smash has done it, and I think this game is going to do it.
Yeah. I really think this game looks really cool. I was watching the trailer just to see, like, and you know, this game actually is going to fit into our roadmap nicely because the Avengers trailer dropped today, which you know, I still haven't seen Infinity War yet, but
I will say this, Corey. I actually at first thought it was a Telltale game by the way that it looks.
I thought it was that dumb mobile game, or they were bringing what's the fighting game? Marvel vs. Capcom. At like either Ultimate 3 or Infinite to Switch. Like, that's what I thought it was at first, because it looks a lot like Ultimate or Infinite, like Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. I thought they were bringing that to Switch. And
I think they're still working on it. I think what we've seen was kind of prototype, like a beta, kind of like it's not fully developed.
It's a work in progress, right?
Yeah.
So, I was talking to Todd Oxtra today actually, and he posted a picture of the trailer and Secret Friends Unite group, and he was like, I was like, this game looks really cool, and he was like, I thought it was that mobile fighting game, the Marvel Champions fighting game or whatever. I was like, honestly, I thought that's what it was at first too.
I've never heard of that.
It's like, I mean, it's the Marvel Champions fighting game on mobile. It's a free to play mobile game, and
never heard of it. Didn't even know that Marvel did a mobile game.
Oh, dude, there's like 45 Marvel mobile games.
Like,
I think there is a Ultimate Alliance style a Marvel game too on phones.
Because I was thinking about, I'm like, isn't this? Because see, X-Men Legends was one of them, right? That was kind of
X-Men Legends was awesome. X-Men Legends was like the prequel to Marvel Ultimate Alliance. It was it was for I had it for GameCube, but I think it was for everything.
Yeah, I have it for Xbox. I still have the original one. And see, that's what I thought it was when I was looking at it. I'm like, oh, this is like that X-Men Legends.
Well, I thought somebody was also my first thought, because they showed the blue character from Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah,
I thought they were porting the Telltale. Somebody was porting the Telltale game.
And that's why when I seen it, that's why I thought it was a Telltale game.
And then I was like, I don't think Jeff Keighley's going to support Telltale after the way they just screwed over all their employees. And then I was like, oh, this is like a real game. And I was like, I was like, is this Crystal Dynamics Avengers game? And I was like,
that. And then and then I started thinking at work today. I'm like, wait, did Nintendo and Telltale have something in plan?
Yeah.
I kind of would have been like, what in the world is going on? Like, I was lost.
Mm-hmm.
So when it did get revealed, I was just like, oh, yes, awesome. And then when y'all told me it was Koei Tecmo, I was just like, wait, what? Team Ninja? I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah, I was like, man, that was the biggest surprise. I was like, man, Marvel is really like doing some interesting moves in terms of video game space. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a day one purchase. Like,
I think it looks cool. I can't wait. I hope there's online co-op and like we could all just sit down and play one night.
Yes.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
I have to look at Amazon or Target. Hopefully, the pre-order starts sometime next year.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then like one other thing too that like I thought was pretty exciting was the Mortal Kombat the
11
announcement,
coming to Switch.
Because then us finding out that it was coming to Switch. I mean, that was pretty big too. Huh?
They announced the platforms like later on.
Yeah.
It's on Nintendo Life too. The thing is like they're not selling the premium edition, the $100 version, which comes with like the season pass. You have to buy the season pass separately. But it's going like the season pass separately is going to cost the same price as the premium edition. So
$40.
Yeah. So, but I guess the DLC is going to have something like 10 fighters, like 10 guest characters or something. So that trailer was cool though.
The music was stupid.
Yeah, the music
realistic
was bad.
A realistic looking Waluigi. For the Nintendo version.
He won't be in Smash, but he'll be in Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, exactly. That's why he's not in Smash. He's making an appearance on Mortal Kombat 11.
When they announced the game for the systems, was it like after the Game Awards?
Yeah, they didn't announce systems at the Game Awards, but there are articles going up everywhere that announce platforms. So it's coming to everything. PC, Xbox, PlayStation, Switch. So
which is awesome. That'll be awesome having it on Switch.
Yeah. I think it feel better with the Pro Controller.
Yeah. So
and it's just being
first trying to get to the next part.
I know. I was just one last thing. I was just gonna say with the being a mobile system, that it'll be nice. Like if you can just basically like verse each other, like standing right there.
Yeah.
Kind of go for the whole arcade style.
That'd be cool. Putting them like sitting at like you can see the commercial now for this thing is like people putting it back to back with the Pro controllers and like it'll be look like arcades or whatever, like sitting at a picnic table, just the switches back to back like this, people playing.
Yeah.
Can't you just see that arcade cabinet for Mortal Kombat 11? You just dock your Switch on it, and it recognizes it.
A couple other announcements from the Game Awards real quick. Joker from Persona 5 is joining Smash as the first DLC character, which spawned a lot of rumors that Persona 5 Golden will be coming to Switch at some point, which totally okay with.
It's everybody's not going to happen because of Shin Megami Tensei 5. Atlas needs to finish that and bring the Switch.
I mean, I don't care either way. So,
I pre-ordered that already. So,
Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled is coming to Switch. Also, it was a lot of people thought it was a PlayStation exclusive at first, but it is coming to everything. It's coming to Xbox and Switch also, which I don't really care about Crash, but it looks like a game Sana will play with me, so I will try to probably get it.
This is right in my alley.
I'm still offended from what you said yesterday. So
this is up my alley.
Yes.
What did I say yesterday? Oh, that Crash Team Racing is better than Mario Kart 64. I don't like Mario Kart 64 at all, dude.
The audacity.
I've never played.
Treason.
To be fair, I said that just to ruffle your feathers, but like, I've never played Crash Team Racing, but I do not like Mario Kart 64. Like, I liked it at the time, but I always felt like there was something off. And then when Double Dash came out, I was like, oh yeah, Mario Kart 64 was bad. So
Yeah, Double Dash did.
Dash was amazing.
Yeah, Double Dash is still probably it's my second favorite.
Mario Kart 8 is the best. Mario Kart 8 is the definitive.
Yeah.
I hope they make Double Dash 2 and they just like it's just Mario Kart 8 with 2 characters on a cart. That's all I really want.
Yeah.
So, other games announced. Stranger Things 3, the game, is creeping onto platforms. That's what Nintendo Life says. It's a 16-bit kind of isometric something. So fans of Stranger Things can look forward to that. And then it's, I mean, it has a real Goonies 2 vibe where there's no 1 or 2, but there's a 3. So, and then pop album video game Sayonara Wild Hearts arrives on Switch in 2019, which opened the show. That is it looks kind of like a rhythm game, right? I don't know. I didn't really understand the trailer, but
like a rhythm action. Action. It's definitely right up my alley, and I need that soundtrack, and that would be another pre-order.
So here's the description of the game real quick before we move on to our roadmap. Sayonara Wild Hearts is a euphoric music video dream about being awesome. About riding motorcycles, skateboarding, dance battling, shooting lasers, wielding swords, and breaking hearts at 200 miles an hour. As the heart of a young woman breaks, the balance of the universe is disturbed. A diamond butterfly appears in her dreams and leads her through a highway in the sky, where she finds her other self, the masked biker called the Fool. Traveling through the futuristic cities, dark forests, and electric deserts, the Fool sets out to find harmony of the universe, hidden away in the hearts of the star-crossed allies, Little Death, Dancing Devils, Howling Moons, Stereo Lovers, and Hermit 64. It looks like this game is being published by Nintendo. And, I don't know who the developer is, but...
That's why I think Puncture, I think they was the one that... Simon Cole or something like that is developing it.
Yeah, it looks cool. Like, I want to see more of it, and since it's published by Nintendo, I'll probably buy it. Like, I just found out Nintendo is coming out with a semi-pseudo sequel to Wii Fit on January 4th, which we'll talk about.
Wait, what?
Oh, nice.
It's called Fitness Boxing. So, and the Wii Fit trainer is definitely on the box. So,
that's interesting.
But, so yeah, Game Awards it was cool. Way too long, I thought, but I thought the announcements were definitely the highlight of the show. A lot of cool indie games. Yeah, we're gonna.
And if you were like me though, and didn't get it spoiled, I was excited to see Far Cry. I know we're not probably getting that on Switch, but that looked really cool.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm sure we'll talk a little bit about it on Arsenal X, but it definitely looks like it's out Far Cry and outraging Rage 2 at the same time.
Yeah.
So, that looks really cool. So we're going to get into our roadmap here. We did promise you guys a roadmap episode. I sent you guys in the chat the current calendar for Nintendo Switch and then games that have been announced but not dated. So, and as you can see, Switch's 2019 is already super packed. Now, I did not include the Ultimate Switch game that comes out very soon, and I'm not talking about Smash Brothers. I'm talking about Roller Coaster Tycoon Adventures, which comes out on December 13th. Thanks, Mom. She bought it for me as an early Christmas gift. I'm very excited. But, January...
Wait, they got dated?
Yeah, it comes out next week.
But how the heck did I miss that?
I don't know, Ed. You miss a lot of things. And then you bring up things that nobody else even knows about. And then it's just... Your brain is backwards, man. Backwards, man. Walk backwards fast as you can.
Is it all digital or is it a physical?
Nope, there's a physical copy. It's for pre-order on Amazon and it's $49.99.
I'll wait for you to talk about it first before I go and spend my money.
Oh, it's a 10.
Me,
it's a perfect 10. I don't even have to open the box. Perfect 10.
Look, you already know that I'll be at Target. Yeah, I got that Roller Coaster Tycoon for Switch.
It's almost as good as Shaq Fu: Legend Reborn.
Let's get on to this roadmap of Nintendo.
All right, so January is actually pretty packed. Fitness Boxing by Nintendo is the first game coming out. It's interesting. I think it's using the arms mechanics in a workout style game. So definitely not for us, but I'm gonna get it and try it out.
Yeah, give us that Wii Sports instead.
I know. Give us Wii Sports HD.
Me Sports. Just call it Me Sports.
Yeah.
I actually like boxing, so I'll pick it up.
Well, yeah, but you could have that and bowling.
It's true. And tennis.
Yeah.
And golf. There's a
What's
fifth
the
game
next
in there
game,
too.
Corey?
So on the 11th, we're getting 2 titles. Actually, if you're including 3DS, we're getting 3 titles. Mario and Luigi, the Mario and Luigi remake game is coming out. The Bowser's Inside Story remake is coming out that day for 3DS. And then on the 11th, we're getting New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe and Tales of Vesperia Definitive Edition. So those games are both very good.
Yeah, I can't wait for Super Mario.
I know that game's amazing.
I'm planning on buying all 3 of those games. Hopefully,
Well, I haven't gotten to play the original yet, so
it's good
because I just didn't get around to it. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to that.
On the 15th, Onimusha Warlords Remastered is coming to Switch.
must buy.
I'm pretty sure the Switch version is digital only, but a big title for the Switch nonetheless. And then on the 18th is Travis Strikes Again, No More Heroes. That game,
Looking forward to that.
again, part of our Nintendo Power Block giveaway. So you should email the show and subscribe if you want to.
Yeah, I should email the show.
Who's this? Who's this? Desi Juggless.
Yeah.
Hey guys, big fan of the show.
And
It didn't realize this email is from like humanness. He'd be like, Jesse.
February so far, just one game from Ubisoft, Trials Rising, the motorcycle game,
And PD Plant for a Smash DLC.
Sure.
I think that's February 19th or something.
I'm just going by games, Ed. I'm not going by DLC.
Just saying that.
Also, a new Mario Odyssey costume is probably coming for Valentine's Day. He's wearing heart boxers. Huh.
I hope so.
Nothing really planned for March yet, but April has Shovel Knight on the 9th, the physical edition. So I know me and Ed are getting that for sure.
Yes.
Crystal Crisis has been pushed to April, which is the Nicholas indie puzzle game. Features all the characters from like Cave Story and Binding of Isaac and all those games. So Code of Princess. So and then on the 23rd, Mortal Kombat 11 is coming to Switch. May, Team Sonic Racing. And then in June, on the 21st, Crash Team Racing is coming to Switch. Now, it's a pretty full springtime for one console. Let's talk about these games that are announced but not dated for 2019, possibly into 2020, but for now. So I'm just gonna read the list here, and then we're gonna try to weave these games, maybe not all of them, but just the major Nintendo, especially the Nintendo titles, because they tend to release one game a month. I really want to hit on that. So, but for now, the Ace Attorney trilogy, Animal Crossing, Bayonetta 3, Bloodstained, Ritual of the Night, Chocobo Mystery Dungeon, Everybody, Daemon Ex Machina, Dauntless, Doom Eternal, Dragon Quest XI, Dragon Quest Builders, Final Fantasy 7, 9, 10, 10-2, 12, Crystal Chronicles Remastered, Fire Emblem 3 Houses, Grid Autosport, Luigi's Mansion 3, Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, The Black Order, Metroid Prime 4, Oddworld Stranger's Wrath, Pikmin, Pokemon 8, the 8th generation, Psychonauts 2, Resident Evil 0, Resident Evil 4, Saints Row the Third, the full package, Sayonara Wild Hearts Town, Wolfenstein Youngblood, and Yoshi's Crafted World.
Yeah.
That is one heck of a year.
Yeah, we still got the indie games that they showed from August still to put in, but we're not going to worry about that. If we're focusing straight on Nintendo games, we definitely have Yoshi's Crafted World, Luigi's Mansion, Pikmin might be Animal Crossing, Pokemon. Pikmin might be shown at E3 this year. So
I hope so.
Probably, yeah, they should be ready for Pikmin for 2020. I think that game is ready for a reveal.
Where's my Pikmin 3 HD for Switch before Pikmin 4 comes out?
Bayonetta 3. I think Nintendo is really believing in Daemon X Machina, so I think I will probably want to throw that on there. Leading everything, I think it's going to be Yoshi Woolly World in March, and then Pokemon 8 is going to be the last in it.
You don't think Nintendo's going to try to release anything in February?
I don't think they need to because of how packed it is. I think
but Nintendo doesn't really care. I mean, look, they released Kirby in March last year, and March was pretty packed last year, and April.
Yeah,
so.
but I think March is kind of it was like very laxed because people was really gearing up. You know, they was focusing on Kirby, but also focusing on Labo and focusing on God of War for Sony, like for gamers in that perspective.
Yeah.
And then I think just in the springtime, that's like a real chill period. You know, Yoshi's Crafted World only really have to go up against the Division 2. So people could get both games and it wouldn't be a problem. Where I feel like in February, it'll belong to some indies, but February is kind of belonging to Microsoft and Sony. Oh, and Days Gone. Yoshi's Crafted World will have to compete with. But I think for a game like Crafted World, it fits that spring setting. So I think they could go off from there. And definitely if they're going to add some more Nintendo Labo stuff to that. Mm-hmm. I think for right now, you know, even if you look at the Shovel Knight Treasure Trove collection, how that needs to be by itself. You said April, so that's good that like really no big Nintendo stuff is on there because that Shovel Knight will be able to move into May if they want to do another Nintendo game, which I think if you look at it, I think Daemon X Machina would be a good time for will be a good thing for maybe May.
Yeah, I still think. Oh, go ahead, Jesse.
I could see Bayonetta coming out in March because I feel like they've been working on that for a while.
They would plan.
The only thing is, I think we would have seen something by now. Yeah. In terms of like gameplay and stuff. Although I mean,
if we do get a direct this month yet,
that's true because the Bayonetta collection. I mean, I know those games were done, but it was announced in December and released in February. So, I mean, Nintendo's been having a habit of doing that, like Mario Tennis and a couple other games. They've done that. So, I would actually think Animal Crossing might be after New Super Mario Brothers. Obviously, I think Animal Crossing would be the next kind of bigger release.
Title.
Just because
I could see that coming in June.
Just because I think they want people to experience all the seasons in one year, the first year, you know?
Yeah.
If not, like maybe not like March, but maybe April or May, towards the end of spring.
I think they will probably push it to September. Because it really depends on what they do with the Nintendo Direct for Animal Crossing, and definitely how they're going to connect that with Pocket Camp. So I I feel like probably September would be a good time. If not, they definitely have to have that game out before Christmas. I kind of do agree with you, Jesse, having it out in June. But if I was Nintendo, I would push it to July. In a sense,
Yeah.
it's kind of weird because it's just like Animal Crossing does so good in the summertime and a little bit into going into the fall with a lot of gamers, young gamers and stuff. So it would be interesting to see how they market that and play that out. I think it's kind of weird that if they announced it in September for that direct, and then it's coming out a few months after that. So
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel too. Is I just have a hard time thinking that the turnaround would be that soon from them announcing it. You know, like I feel like that's gonna have to be a game that comes in mid-year to late year.
yeah. But I could understand it. I wouldn't put it in June because of E3. I would actually push it to July. That's where all the hype go down, and people will have a summer game to look forward to.
Yeah.
That would lead them into like the fall into August.
Well, unless it comes out like right after or during E3, like they could have like a big presentation for it at E3 and say that it's available now, like type thing for Animal Crossing, because that would be that would be really big for them, like as far as like the hype, you know, for it and you know, like making them, you know, like a big talking point for E3.
If they're going to do that, they're going to have to really start their marketing in April. They're really going to have to be getting the talk about it. They're going to have to be doing like new Amiibo, getting them a new season of Amiibo cards.
Yeah.
You know, like little small directs and little funny like trailers and stuff like that. I think if Nintendo really believe in it in Animal Crossing, which for a lot of people here and even in Japan, Animal Crossing is still big.
Yeah, well,
the marketing
that's the thing.
has to start early.
Yeah, I think we will see a lot of marketing for it starting pretty soon here. Like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if we don't get some more about it if we do have a direct this month.
Which
like,
now, go ahead, Jesse,
No.
because I'm seeing a problem, and I don't know how Corey's going to feel about this. I feel like Fire Emblem Three Houses is going to get delayed. If not delayed, I don't know where to place it at.
I think that game is more. I don't think it's going to get delayed. I think it's going to be finished, and they're just going to polish it. And Nintendo, I think a lot of these games are almost done in terms of development. Nintendo's just been so good at positioning games where they need to go. You know, this generation especially, they've just placed games where they think they fit best. You know, like you know, and they've had almost one major title a month. You know, come out and shine because they position these games so well. Even at launch, I think the only month they didn't have a first-party title was May, and they positioned Street Fighter, and it was like the best-selling version of Street Fighter 2 in like a long time. So,
well, could I ask you, how would you feel if Fire Emblem Three Houses came in December?
I mean, honestly, that's a game that sounds like a December title to me, just because like
February and May has passed, because that's the time that those. I think besides Fire Emblem Warriors,
the only thing is like Fire Emblem, like the 3DS games would always come out in May, right? But the Switch
February,
well,
February or March.
Well, Shadows of Valencia came out in May because that was their first party title that month.
Was that the year that Monster Hunter Monster Hunter 4 or
Generations, I think, came out.
Which one came in February? Because it was.
I don't remember, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I think it was 4. It might have been 4. No, yeah, I agree. Because it was a Monster Hunter game that was big in February, but most of Awakening and The Shadow one was the last one, right? That was the remake.
you're talking about Fates, which was the one that had 3 versions.
Yeah.
I think what happened. I think that the first 2 versions came out in February, and then the Revelations expansion, unless you pre-ordered the special edition where all 3 versions came on one cart, I think Revelations came out in May because the first 2 came out in March.
And then the remake of that one Fire Emblem, of the Shadows one, that came out in May the following year.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see.
And then,
okay.
but Switch is a different beast, and I think if Xenoblade taught us anything, a game that has an audience will sell in December. And I think Fire Emblem is that game for Nintendo, where the people that are going to buy Fire Emblem are going to buy Fire Emblem. It doesn't matter when it comes out, right?
Yes.
It's not like Mario or Zelda where like, oh, it can come out in May and then sell all year, right? I think Fire Emblem is a game that you can position in December well, and it would suck because I really want to play Fire Emblem, but I've been playing through Valkyria Chronicles 4, and that's really holding me over, and it'll be like, oh yeah, man, I've already played a strategy game. I'm good till next year, late next year, So, and then, I think that's a game that you could position in December and it'll still do well.
Well, and then Luigi's Mansion 3.
That's an October game. It's Ghosts, man. It's got, dude, the marketing campaign for that would do so well. And
yes,
October is always a month where they release 2 games.
Okay, so if Luigi's Mansion 3 is in there, I know me and you was talking about Bayonetta also being in October, because Bayonetta 2.
I think you could release Luigi's Mansion in that window where Mario Party was released this year, like that beginning of October, and then you could release Bayonetta at the
2 weeks apart
at the end of October, where Mario Odyssey was kind of positioned. Especially this October, because Ubisoft doesn't have an Assassin's Creed game coming out. It's probably gonna be Watch Dogs 3 or something, right? No matter what Call of Duty you release this year, it's not gonna do as well as Black Ops 4 did. So you're safe there. Red Dead's already out. I don't know. I think you're gonna go up against Gears 5 for Xbox, and then maybe The Last of Us for PlayStation, but Bayonetta is on such another level, and Bayonetta is another one of those games where people who like Bayonetta are going to buy Bayonetta, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think October is a perfect month to release 2 games, and then you'll have Pokemon right before Black Friday.
I would say this: if Devil May Cry 5 doesn't do well, Bayonetta 3 is going to knock it out the spot.
I think Devil May Cry 5 will sell, and people are going to be disappointed. That's my prediction.
And then Bayonetta 3 will come out. If Bayonetta 3 comes out and it surpasses everybody's expectation, that puts Platinum continue. I'm intrigued to see what craziness they got in their mind, and they're going to put that they're going to show us, because they really need to do what they did with Bayonetta 2, and even I don't care if they show us the same trailer, they need to give us that first level demo. Because that demo alone sold people on Bayonetta 2.
Yeah.
I think the one thing too that I kind of would like to see them do is kind of like what Devil May Cry is doing with this new one, where they change it up just a little bit, where they keep it's still Bayonetta, but have stuff in it that appeals to a broader fan or broader base or whatever. So because I like Bayonetta, but there's just, it's still like there's just some things I think that they could add to it to make it more interesting.
I think they will. I think Platinum is smart enough to be like, okay, we need to upgrade our battle system. They probably
just make it fresh.
Yeah, let me customize the controls too, please. That's something that Ed, you and I talk about so much, is that DMC did such a great job of letting you play how you wanted to play.
Yes.
And like Bayonetta did not, as great as that game is, it just did not let you play how you wanted to play. And I kept trying to play like I was playing DMC, and it kept messing me up. So that's the one thing I hope Bayonetta 3 does. But other than that, it's like I think that game is positioned well for October. Oh man, this game's gonna be so good.
It's gonna be interesting.
I mean, I still think Fire Emblem is gonna get pushed. I mean, it's either gonna come out in May or it's coming out in December. There's no other place to position that unless you put it out in the middle of the summer, which that's a terrible time to be putting out something like that.
I literally would say, for me personally, December would be it, because I'm like, this is a big major game, and people could get it for a Christmas gift.
Look at Xenoblade and Smash are both December games, and look how well those games sold.
Yes.
Xenoblade 2 sold 2 million copies after coming out in December. Granted, I'm sure a lot of that was after Christmas and like throughout this whole year, but still, that game still sold a ton of copies, you know. And
it was a game that people were looking for, and so they didn't have nothing to compete with it, and be like, oh, okay, I can get this. Bam. You know, no shade, Jesse. Just Cause 4, I don't think people were looking forward to it, but I think it's doing wonders along with Smash. Just Cause 4, it made people really look forward to it, just like Smash did.
I definitely think that game got overshadowed by Smash, but I still think the people who wanted that game got that. I mean, that's a perfect example of a series that has an audience and are going to buy that game. You know.
Yeah, it's like Far Cry. It's like, you know, there's some talk about it, but you know, for the most part, it's kind of hit or miss with the majority.
Yeah.
I feel like Just Cause 4 really complements Smash, because you get two different wacky experiences. One in the fighting game, one in a adventure action sci-fi kind of game, where you just really think out the box on how you want to approach a mission. And you know, so I think, you know, I say get Just Cause 4 if people are into it. I have to wait to get the game, but I will be getting that too. But Smash is kind of just a highlight for it. So I think in December, because I think Fire Emblem will be the only Nintendo's RPG game of the year.
Do you guys think Yoshi's gonna be a summer game?
I think that game's coming out real soon. I think it's
March.
Maybe March.
I think it's gonna be February or March. I think they're gonna position that where Kirby was this year, like mid-March.
Okay.
You know, just kind of just because like I know March is super crowded for like mature games, quote unquote, like Anthem,
I feel like
Crackdown, Metro.
There's
something else coming out on February 15th too that was just announced at the Game Awards. I forget what it is, but there's no like kids games, quote unquote, and Yoshi will fit that.
Yeah.
Is Metro's coming out in February, or did they get
it comes out on the same day as Anthem?
Okay.
So
February or March. I don't know why I think it's gonna be March, but
well, and I think March is perfect, because the other like I said earlier, the other two big games is gonna be the Division 2 and Days Gone. So you do got something at least for Xbox, you got something exclusive for PlayStation, and then you have exclusive something for Nintendo. So all three platforms, if you're a multi-platform owner, you have 3 games to look forward to in March.
Yeah, and we don't really have anything that's for sure for March yet. for Nintendo, so I could see that. But like Corey said, like also February, we really don't have anything in February for Switch either. So it's either February or March, that I could see it coming.
Yeah.
And I agree. I agree with you, Corey, with Metro Prime 4 being delayed to 2020. I think
unless the next direct announces Metroid Prime Trilogy for like April or May, kind of sitting where Donkey Kong sat this year.
Yeah,
Metroid is not coming out in 2019.
Well, Well, I think if we do get it in 2019, it's going to be in the Pokemon Let's Go or the Smash,
What, Metroid
spot.
Prime?
Yeah, Metroid Prime 4.
Well,
Like it would be like right before the holiday.
not really, because Pokemon is going to definitely be in November. Pokemon just sells too well in November.
Yeah, I mean, I think anytime there's a Pokemon game, that Pokemon just solidifies November. Now, that doesn't mean Nintendo won't put out 2 games in November,
Yeah.
but they're not going to put Metroid up against Pokemon, right? They're not going to sabotage their own first party. If they put Metroid anywhere, like if Metroid Prime 4 did come out, I think September is a nice sweet spot for that.
And I was about to say that too. That to me, that may be the only choice.
Yeah, because you get it out before all the big fall games. The only other shooter coming out around then is probably a Destiny expansion, right? And the only other games that people are buying are going to either be sports games or I mean this year what came out in September, Spider-Man and Tomb Raider.
Yeah.
I think, right? Were the September games, so like
Yes.
I mean, unless Sony has an exclusive coming out around then, like The Last of Us or Dreams or something, like if Metroid Prime came out this year, I think September is the spot you put it in.
I'm boggling in my head how would that work because of Nintendo Direct and E3. I don't. I agree with you, Corey, with the date, with the month being in September. But I'm just like, how do you get people hyped up to bring that out? And
I mean, Nintendo just has a killer direct in August, right? A couple months after.
Well, it's
or you hype it up during E3, right? Like that's the thing is like you make the E3 booth Metroid, right? Metroid and Pokemon are the 2 things you build your E3 around.
Do you think they do the Samus Return thing where they just like crazily announced it at E3 and surprisingly it came out in September?
No, I think
they wanted to build marketing wise.
Look, Metroid doesn't really sell well. I know we want it to, and we like Metroid, but historically, Metroid doesn't sell very well. And I think they're going to want to position this. They're going to want to position this game in a month that it can thrive, and they can build hype in a small marketing window, right? And that's going to be June to September is a small enough marketing window to get people hyped, show off some gameplay trailers, and then kick off a month where there's very little going on, right? And at the rate, I mean, I'm sure we'll talk about this on Arsenal X at some point in the next couple of weeks, but the way Black Armory's going, Destiny's next expansion better be doing something crazy.
But yeah, I'm just thinking it from a marketing perspective. I do agree with you from doing it in September, and that's why I brought the Samus Return kind of thing, because it was just crazily announced, unexpected, and then it came out in September, which was like, oh wow, you guys just announced this, and it sold very well, and people wanted the collection and stuff. So if we're adding the Metroid Prime trilogy and we're doing Metroid Prime 4, it's just like, how does that work?
Well, my thing is I was so banking on Metroid Prime Trilogy being announced last night.
Me too.
And it coming out in February, similar to what they did to the Bayonetta collection last year. And now that they didn't do that, unless they announce it in a direct at the beginning of January, like maybe you position Metroid Prime Trilogy in that September spot and move Metroid Prime 4 to next year or 2020. Because you're not gonna want to release all 4 games in one year. People are gonna be so burned out, and it's like, I don't know. Maybe that's what you do. You make E3 all about Metroid, and you position Metroid Prime Trilogy.
That I could follow.
You position your E3 as a big Metroid event, a Metroid Prime event, and you position Metroid Prime Trilogy as your September game, and then you move Metroid Prime 4 maybe to next spring instead of the fall, so you have a major title in the spring.
And you still could do Treehouse Live through the 3 days, but like each time they do they say Metroid Prime 4 for like maybe the final day, but drip free 1, 2, 3, and I even add
or you even open or close the direct with Metroid. You announce the Metroid Prime trilogy at the beginning of the direct, and then you end it with a gameplay trailer for Metroid Prime 4.
Prime 4, yeah. I actually asked Pierre Schneider from IGN. I was just like, if they did Metroid, all 3 games, and made the bonus one for 3DS, that Metroid Prime Hunters or something, if they made that as a bonus game for Metroid Prime, the trilogy, that way you could drop free like a collection of it and then do Prime 4 separate.
Mm-hmm.
I think just something about that, but yeah. I'm sorry, Jesse. I know you probably have something to say about it. So I'm done. I gave it the.
I'm done.
No, yeah, I just like I'm just envisioning, like a massive E3, like Metroid. Like I could see them even having like someone like a Samus lookalike in like full body armor. Like,
yeah,
I mean,
sweet.
I don't think any of us are questioning that their E3 is going to be all about Metroid and Pokemon this year, right? Like,
yeah,
8th gen Pokemon and then Metroid. Like, I think.
I still think we're gonna get a lot of We're gonna get some Animal Crossing in it too.
That too, though, dude.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, if Metroid doesn't come out this year, their whole thing could be their whole booth could be an Animal Crossing village.
I think the direction that the Nintendo Directs for E3 are going, I'm kind of liking it. I'm beginning to like it that they got a main game as their focus and drip feed other stuff. And their booths look really good. I mean,
the Zelda and Mario booths were amazing, and then the Smash one was like pretty cool too. So,
and some people might not like it, but I'm just like, it makes you want to tune in to find out what are you going to be talking about and what is so exclusive that you drip feeding us to reveal something. And I think people would keep tuning in to be like, okay, Treehouse Live is coming back with some new Metroid announcement. Bam, let's watch it. Hey, Super Metroid, they may be like, hey, this is Nintendo Online. We're dropping it today exclusively. Or some Metroid sales and stuff on 3DS. Like, they could really do a lot as having Metroid as the focus.
I mean, they could even have like a. Yeah, I mean, I think Metroid is going to be their focus, but like it's crazy because like the more I think about it, and the more like just the more I think about how their E3 has been the last few years, the more and more I think that Metroid Prime 4 is going to get pushed to 2020, and they're going to focus on Animal Crossing and Pokemon next year.
Definitely with Nintendo Online.
And then you got to put Bayonetta 3 in there somewhere too, because you're publishing that game. You want that game to sell. Like, I don't know. I feel like we're talking in circles now, but
yeah.
Oh, go ahead, Jesse.
Well, at the same time, I'm having a hard time envisioning the new Pokemon coming out next year.
Well, they already said it is.
That's for sure.
Yeah, because that's why they put Let's Go out this year, so they would have an extra year to work on it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think the reactions people been given Let's Go Pokemon, they kind of want to see in Pokemon and for Switch, the Pokemon Switch.
Yeah.
So
so I know we're running short on time, but the last thing I want to cover is like the one big thing we didn't cover for this roadmap. When is this Marvel game they're publishing coming out? I'm sure they want to put it out somewhere around Avengers Endgame, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, maybe not the same week, but like
I'm going to say September. I think they're going to treat this like a Hyrule Warrior when it came out for Wii U. I think that game would be fitting for September.
See, I think this game's coming out way earlier than that. I think this is their May game.
You know what? I wouldn't even say May. I think August. I think it's fitting for August.
Yeah, I could see August.
So I mean, I don't know, man. I'm still like blown. I'm still blown away that they announced that. Like that got me really excited. Like when I said I was like, "Is this an Ultimate Alliance game?" I was like half joking because I'm like, they would not make another Ultimate Alliance. But then I was like, this is going to be Ultimate Alliance, isn't it? And then it was Ultimate Alliance. I was like, oh, jeez. So.
Shoot, when it said exclusive on Nintendo,
I know that was the kicker. That was the big thing. And like, you know, we discussed this on the live stream last night, but like, I think Nintendo's getting Ultimate Alliance because that Avengers game there's no way that game is going to be running on Switch. Like, but, you know,
I think
unless Panic Button wants some more work, you know.
Yeah, but you know what I think, because of the success of seeing how I think what Nintendo did with Blizzard and Activision for Diablo 3, I think they were just like, we could probably bank on this, and they probably did make some great bank on it. And they were just like, hey, let's get another game like this, because these style of games have been working well on Switch. So Nintendo was just like, you know what, let's front some money and go to Marvel and get this.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah, I wonder how that worked. I wonder if Marvel went to Nintendo or if Nintendo went to Marvel.
I really think Nintendo went to Marvel.
I do too. I think they said, look, a lot of people are asking for this Ultimate Alliance game. You guys just shut down the thing that was kind of like Marvel Ultimate Alliance, but and Diablo mixed together. What was that called? Marvel Heroes. I think.
Yeah.
People still want that experience. We have a system that can give them that experience. Why don't we work together?
Bring it to us.
Let's find a team that can give you cool combat, knows how to make cool animations and cool style, and that's where, you know. I mean, look.
They had the.
I think they have high hopes because like Neo was a smash hit on PlayStation, right?
Yes,
and that really put Team Ninja back on the map. And so I wonder if this is. I know this is going to be kind of like their B team or whatever because Neo 2 comes out next year, but like
even if it is their B team, who on Team Ninja knows this style of game? Because somebody's been playing this.
Yeah, somebody has X-Men Legends on a GameCube somewhere sitting in their office.
Probably so. Someone is experienced on this to have Team Ninja make this.
Oh man, I hope that game comes with a remaster of X-Men Legends.
I'm gonna say this, and you know we'll probably close out of this. I'm looking forward to Game Informer getting a cover story.
Mm-hmm.
They have got to get a cover story for this, and I need to have it in my hands and read the details.
Yeah, I think that'll end up coming at some point. You know, it'll be interesting. So, oh geez, wow! I just got an email from Ubisoft saying that Starlink base costs $19.99. So, sorry, that was totally random, but. Remember how I kept emailing them and whatever? I was like, man, it'd probably cost more to send that base in than to just buy a new one. But anyways, I should have just returned it and got a new one. Whatever. Anyways, anything else we want to say about this roadmap before we close out the show?
I said enough.
Yeah.
I think we're good.
Yeah. So I mean, dude, Nintendo's got a huge year and they haven't even announced everything yet. So.
Yeah,
and the way that it looks, I think Nintendo and Microsoft is going to now after this roadmap with Nintendo. I think Nintendo and Microsoft is going to dominate 2019. I'm sorry, Sony. Nintendo just came in.
I mean, Sony's got one bullet in their gun next year, and that's The Last of Us Part 2.
And
nobody believes you that it's not going to sell well. I think it's going to sell a ton of copies just because
Well, if it's the only game that Sony's got, it's got to sell well because what else?
They've technically got 5 games, major first party games, and then they've got Medieval, the Medieval remaster, and then I'm sure they've got unannounced stuff, but like Days Gone, Dreams, Last of Us, Ghost of Tsushima, which I think is a 2020 game. And then Death Stranding, which I think is a generation straddling game. So So
Man, maybe Sony don't need 2020. I mean 2019. So.
I mean, I don't really think Sony has anything to prove the rest of this generation. They've made their mark. The PlayStation 4 is a hit.
That's debatable. And me and the guys at NGP will probably go at it for that one. But
I mean, statistics and sales numbers and units sold don't lie. So I'm gonna go ahead and say that you're wrong on this one. But
the comments. Yes, this is the numbers are always
87
good.
million units in 5 years is nothing to sneeze at. So
yeah, but
But what, Ed? You know what? We're gonna end the episode before this argument starts running around in circles itself. So, anyways,
that's why I said NGP.
this is why you're on a Nintendo show, not the PlayStation show. This is why we don't do the PlayStation show anymore.
That is true.
Anyways, this has been Nintendo Power Block. Thank you for joining us for this odd yet productive roadmap show. Hope you guys enjoyed the Game Awards. Hope you guys were surprised by some of the announcements. Leave a comment below. Let us know what you thought of the announcements. And, I don't encourage people to leave comments below the videos like I think I should. So leave a comment. Let us know what you think. Let us know what you think about Metroid. When is there going to be an HD collection? Is Metroid Prime 4 going to come out next year? Just let us know what you think. Do you think 2019 is a strong year for Nintendo? I think we all think it's a strong year. So, you can find Nintendo Power Block every Tuesday at 7 a.m. on your podcast service of choice. You can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Nintendo_PBlock. You can find all of our content on our YouTube page. Like, subscribe, and share. Enter our contests by emailing us a question for Question Block and subscribing to the YouTube page. You can find all of our content on ngrradio.com. 2019, we're going to start live streaming our episodes, so look forward to that. Follow us on Twitter for those announcements as well. Ed, where can we find you?
You guys can find me on Twitter at ThatRetroCode and check out Optional Opinion on SoundCloud and other podcast apps. I got to keep it short. We got a lot of content to do.
Jesse.
You can find me on Twitter at PhantomMaggotAX.
And you can find me at CorianHD86 on Twitter and Instagram. And you can find me at CorianHD on Twitch.tv. And you can also find me on Nerds Gone Rogue Prime channel and that podcast and everything else. So check out ngrradio.com for all of our content. Thank you guys so much for watching. And until next time, we love you.
Bye, everybody. Woo-hoo!